Hello, welcome to the presentation of our work, CSCLRec, Personalized Recommendation of Forum Posts to Support Social Collective Learning. We are from the EDTechLab Research Group at the University of Alberta in Canada. Let's get started. Recommender systems are kind of popular technologies in many application areas. In the past decade, we saw many of them were built for educational forums. However, to our knowledge, most of them are built specifically for question and answering forums, or those ones are MOOCs. Compared to that, small-scale forums that host student discussions rather than questions and answers also need help from recommender systems, though there are only a few of them out there. As we reviewed some existing works, we discovered that they tend to depend on a priori domain knowledge, which is sometimes time-consuming to obtain and hard to generalize to unseen cases. More importantly, few of them have considered incorporating educational principles. Therefore, we try to fill in these gaps by introducing two recommender systems that specifically built for discussion-based educational forums, CSCLRec and Copper, as new ways to support online discussion. As seen in the structure overview of CSCLRec here, it has three types of data sources in red, which is obtainable in most forums, then processed by phone modules in blue, before the generation of recommendations in yellow. We will see them one by one in later slides. First, let's get started with its core module, the Personalized PageRank. Personalized PageRank, also known as PPR, is a commonly used graph-based recommendation algorithm. We have made some modifications to it. As shown in the graph, three types of data sources are read in, and those data got processed by two of our modules. The output gives nodes and edges used in the PPR graph, as shown to the right. In our modified version of the PPR graph, we have three types of nodes, users in green, forum post in red, hypername or keywords in yellow, and three types of edges, user to user in green, user to post in red, and post to hypername or post to keywords in yellow. When it comes to the recommendation, it performs a random walk procedure. Our animation presents such an example. Suppose we were to recommend for a specific active user, say U2. The random walk starts from the U2 node to all over the graph for a large number of iterations. The probability of visiting each node will converge at some point, and finally we will have those most frequently visited poster nodes as the recommendations. As you may wonder, where do those edges and nodes come from? I'm going to explain them one by one. First, the Learner Interaction Profiler module that introduces green nodes and the green edges. The Learner Interaction Profiler module takes user-to-user interactions as an input. For example, in our test dataset, the interactions to be analyzed on have 5 types: read anomalously, like, link, and reply. So they are organized into a social network graph which treat users as nodes and their interactions as edges. As a result, it locates for each user a certain number of others whom they communicated most often. Those are called peer learners. Peer learners are connected in the PPR graph as we saw in the last slide. Apart from the peer learners, it also computes centrality score and participation level of each user in the community. The two measures help us further determine 4 types of the users that require extra attention. These include new users who are new to the community or never participate, listeners who did not actively participate, peripheral users who lost centrality in the community, or single-pass users who did not revisit all posts. Our second module, the Content Analyzer, offers a recommendation solution from a semantic perspective view. This is where the design of Copper differs from the CSCLRec. The Copper's content analyzer module, reading the textual content of from post. After some regular pre-processing steps, each post is represented as a bag of words. Then we perform a keyword extraction using the TF-IDF approach, and select the top one-third as the keywords. Those keywords are used as nodes in the graph, and are connected to the posts, which containing those keywords. The content analyzer of CSCLRec is a bit more complicated. The output of this module is a collection of hypernym nodes. Hypernym is a linguistic term. In an example, the word flower is a hypernym of the word rose and the word daisy. CSCLRec's content analyzer went through similar pre-processing and keyword extraction steps. As an additional last step for each extracted keyword, the module queried its lemma and hypernym of this lemma in an online dictionary called WordNet. As a result, instead of keyword nodes in the PPR graph, the posts are connected via hypernym nodes. This setup is considered to be beneficial in some occasions, because otherwise it is likely to miss the connections between posts. For example, a post containing the word assignment and another post containing the word homework. As we introduce the two recommender systems, we would like to investigate how they work as compared to other commonly used algorithms. So we pose the following question. How do traditional recommender systems and those that incorporate principles from social collaborative learning aspect perform when suggesting posts in small online social collaborative learning contexts? To answer the question, we have done evaluations on a data source called Pepper. It is a discussion platform for graduate level courses. They had this forum-like structure as shown in this screenshot here. From Pepper, we extracted the following types of data, which are applicable to every other similar forums. This includes users who are students registered in the course forum. Items to be recommended are the forum posts created by students and instructors. Each forum post has its textual content. User item interactions include creation, reply, like, link, revisit, read, and read anonymously, those type of interactions. Here are some screenshots of those interactions. Here is the procedure of our evaluation. Firstly, this is offline evaluation, so that we only use the historical data. We extracted 6 fully online courses from Pepper. 3 of them are regular term ones, and 3 of them are short-term ones. In each round of the recommendations, we recommend 10 posts to each user every week. CSCLRec and Copper were compared against 6 different commonly used recommender systems. This includes PPR, which is a standalone PPR graph, a collaborative filtering algorithm that features in using matrix factorization. We also have 2 content-based recommenders. SCB encodes the entire post into a sentence embedding to be compared in the feature space. KCB first extracts keywords and then compute embeddings for the whole post. We also include 2 baselines. One is a random recommendation. Another recommends based on poster popularity. We compare the recommenders in terms of 4 measures. Precision and recall at 10 measures the recommendation accuracy. Intra-list diversity, also known as ILD, measures the semantic diversity of the recommendations. Mean inverse user frequency gives us a measure of the recommendation novelty. Here we describe some major findings of our evaluation results. CSCLRec and Copper achieved the best performance in recommendation precision. As for the recall, we don't observe any significant differences among the recommenders, according to our postdoc analysis. Furthermore, other algorithms are better at diversity and novelty, but CSCLRec and Copper are reasonably okay. When we take a look at the graph showing the weekly comparison, we see that CSCLRec and Copper's leading positions were maintained throughout the weeks. In terms of the diversity performance, we saw that collective filtering system, for example MCF, has better diversity performance for most weeks. Content-based ones, KCB and SCB, have poor diversity performance, which may attribute to the overspecialization problem. CSCLRec and Copper are in a middle position because of the trade-off between the accuracy and diversity. As a conclusion, in this work, we present two recommender systems, CSCLRec and Copper, that incorporate elements of social collective learning. In evaluation, we found that they deliver more accurate prediction of preference. They also meet our diversity and novelty expectations, which suggests that they may help increase student participation in discussion-related learning activities. As a future work, we would like to acquire feedback from expert reviewers to measure the system's support for the knowledge co-construction process. We would also like to deploy them online to examine its influence on student behaviors. Thank you everyone for coming to our presentation today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or Carrie using the following email address.